Gut permeability, or leaky gut, is like having a hole in the fence in your backyard. So if you want to keep your dog in your yard, you don't want a hole in your fence. Hi, I'm Mary Bourne, traditional naturopath, and I love sharing natural remedies to help people improve their health and to maintain good health. Drugs work to control symptoms, and the most prescribed medication for the gut actually interrupts digestion. So I don't work on diagnosed conditions. I feel that symptoms are there to make us aware that there's a problem and that balance is the key. So if we're talking about this month is all about gut health, and I honestly feel that if the gut is healthy, the body is healthy. It's the main reason people are sick. It's the beginning of disease. So let's talk about that fence, okay? So if you have a fence, and think of this as a picket fence, and there's some spaces in between, that's sort of like your gut lining. And when you eat food, there's something called zonulin that opens the gaps to allow the nutrients to flow through. But that lining is only one layer thick. So think of like this is a cloth tea bag. So if you put things in here that were sharp and hot, and soon it would erode this one layer thick of material. So that's basically what your gut lining is like. It's one cell layer thick. So it's not very sturdy. And this whole month we're talking about gut health. And today in particular, we're talking about something called leaky gut. Now, years ago, maybe even 20 years ago, the medical community used to poo-poo that. Oh my goodness, there's no such thing. That's a great theory. Nobody pays any attention because they didn't have a drug that they could use that would work to close up the gaps. And they couldn't scientifically prove the process of how the gut would become leaky. Well, now there's a lot of science, and it is a very hot topic in the scientific field. So here's one diagram that shows you these are healthy cells, and you see these are called junctions, and they're nice and tight together, and there's something called zonulin that sits on the top of the junction, and these are little hair-like things that move things along. Now this little zonulin comes along and it triggers the gap to open and then allow food to go down into the bloodstream. Now that's when things are working well. Now you'll come over here where we have something called leaky gut, and I'll get to how the gut gets leaky in a minute. But I would like you to, this is like trying to get to, college level down to where most people can understand the process. So you have these, too much zonulin in the body will trigger these gaps to stay open. And now we got things like viruses and pathogens and whole food particles that are not digested properly getting into the bloodstream, and our body thinks of it as being an allergen, because you know what, you're not supposed to have whole food undigested going into the bloodstream. So that keys the immune system to say, wait a minute, you're too big. And so it shuts off the ability to recognize this as a good thing. So that's why people become like allergic to strawberries or, healthy food, because they've gone through undigested. So I can't express the importance enough about taking a good food enzyme with your meal. And if you have heavy mucus in that and a pancreas that's struggling, take enzymes between meals too. So Dr. Gonzalez, I talked about last week, recommends, and he himself takes between 20 and 30 enzymes, every day to stay healthy. So this class, we want to discuss how the gut gets leaky, what we can do to prevent it, and how we can repair it if it has been compromised. So the gut is a community. We talked about that last week. It's called the microbiome. Micro meaning small and biome meaning ecosystem. And so it's a small ecosystem that is symbiotic and works together and signals with other parts of the body. So how does it become leaky? Well, yesterday in my herbal egram that you can get in its entirety if you go to my website, which is Born for Health, FOR Health.com, and click on newsletters, and you'll see the entire newsletter about zonulin. And remember, I just spoke about what zonulin does. It's the signal that says, okay, GAP, open up. We've got food coming through. We want nutrients to get into the bloodstream. We want some immune support to get into the bloodstream. So it is very helpful. But when it is overexcited or overproduced, then it is unhelpful. Again, balance, see? So the zonulin is out of balance. That doesn't require a drug. What it requires is to stop putting in the irritant or that which makes zonulin express. And so zonulin is triggered by several things. Now, with many people, gluten is the trigger that says to zonulin, open up, and stuff is coming through. So all kinds of junk gets in. Another trigger is environmental toxins, like radiation, electromagnetic fields. So what can we do to control the excitement of the zonulin? So again, if you go to bornforhealth.com and click on the tab, you'll see the newsletter talking about zonulin. I'm not going to go totally into it here because I have more things I want to talk about with that. And by the way, if you're enjoying these classes, send me some love and click on the heart or some emojis, and Facebook will help me share this with more people. So the more comments, the more hearts and emojis I get, then Facebook will keep it high on the list for others to view. So I think of these Health to Home classes, videos, as coaching classes, and we all need help. We are inundated with disease mechanisms, with drugs, with information about sickness. We need information about health. We need to get out there, get the message, and share hope with other people. So here's a a diagram that Dr. David Perlmutter, if you want to hear anything by him, you can just, his name is Perlmutter, Perlmutter. Oh my goodness, there's lots of information about Dr. Perlmutter and his functional medicine that he's spreading across the country. But anyways, this is a busy diagram that he has on his website. He has a whole PDF about the influence of zonulin on our health. But here's a list of the conditions that he says is contributed to by zonulin and leaky gut. So in autoimmune diseases, ankylosing spondylitis, celiac disease. How many people have related that to leaky gut and the fact that it can be reversed? And he does say that. Inflammatory bowel disease, like all the way from irritable bowel to Crohn's disease, rheumatoid arthritis, systemic lupus erythematosus, and type 1 diabetes. In the cancer region, he talks about brain cancer, breast cancer, lung, ovarian, and pancreatic cancers are all related to this zonulin and leaky gut. Diseases of the nervous system, chronic inflammatory demyelinating polyneuropathy, which is called CIDP, multiple sclerosis, which may also be an autoimmune. See, what happens is that when all this stuff comes rushing through that shouldn't be in the bloodstream, the immune system starts attacking itself. This is called autoimmune. So there are schizophrenia. Oh my goodness. So I really feel that Alzheimer's fits in there as well. So these are all scientifically documented and studied links between leaky gut and, hi Moira, thanks for watching, and thanks for sending those hearts, everybody. So the most common concern that maybe you are interested in is allergies, because remember that fence that we talked about and the things go down? Here is the bloodstream and things enter into the bloodstream, and oh my goodness, Kirk, missed you at the conference. So you may ask, what do I do about zonulin? Well, first of all, stop putting in the irritant. So most of us need to get off wheat. We know that the gluten in wheat is disruptive to the gut. So just fast for an entire month without gluten and just see how you feel. Now I'm going to give you some other tips too on what you can do to help heal the gut. But let's get rid of the irritant. So let's talk a little bit about electromagnetic fields. Now, there's some things that we can do without, like microwaves. Oh my goodness, who needs to cook in a microwave? There's so many other ways to cook that you simply do not need to cook anything in a microwave. Put those radiation to your body. You simply don't need it. Now, maybe you live in an electronic magnetic field. You know, you've got wires. There are ways that you can test to see whether or not you're being exposed to these EMFs. If you can, get rid of it. Okay, now maybe you've had radiations or some kind of chemotherapy that has disrupted the gut, and it has to be, okay? People make these choices and it has to be. So if you can eliminate it, the irritant, if you can't, then we go on to phase 2, which is, or maybe you can do it concurrently, that you get rid of the irritant and move on to phase 2, which is the repair phase. Now, this phase involves creating good digestion, of course. And I talked with you about enzymes and the importance of taking enzymes. I've taken enzymes for 40 years with my meals, and I really feel that a lot of my good health is attributed to this fact. So the other thing is when you're eating, to have the correct environment. So it should be a time of peace, nice music, candles, whenever possible. I've seen some of those meals you've made, Kirk. Those look wonderful. So how about the teens? This should be a no screen zone for children. There should be no phones allowed at the dinner table and no screens allowed. And that goes for parents as well. Take this time, 20 minutes, to get to know each other, talk with each other, have some conversations. And if you don't have people around you and you have pets, talk with them, make it a lovely time, just 20 minutes. Next thing we want to do is we want to repair the gut. And so one of the things that I love is this Bacillus coagulans. Now, let me just read to you what it says. Bacillus coagulans, previously known as Lactobacillus sporogenus, is a room temperature stable probiotic supplement that is capable of surviving stomach acid to reach the small intestine. Remember, that's what we're trying to repair here, is that leaky gut. So Bacillus coagulans is unique among probiotics in that it naturally possesses a protective coating that making it resistant to extreme temperatures. So you can eat it with food. You can have it sitting on a shelf. You don't have to remember to get it out of the refrigerator. It can be sitting with the rest of your supplements and right at the dinner table. Numerous studies have shown that Bacillus coagulans can improve the intestinal microbiome. That's amazing. So we want to make sure that we're using a supplement that is going to be meaningful. Now, I have included a link. It's under tickets. And after the video, go there. Search out what I'm talking about and get some on hand. Start using these, because you know what? Having it come to you as a reminder and a video and an explanation isn't really improving your health until you take action. And so taking action as the food enzymes and proactozyme and Bacillus coagulans and getting them into your body is what's going to improve your health. So these friendly spores help heal the gut lining, and they decrease irritation and inflammation. Remember, when you're not digesting, it isn't because you have too much acid, it's because you have a lack of acid, and those foods are actually putrefying in your gut, and those bubbles are popping up and causing all kinds of distress. So you need to get the digestion going, and you need to heal the gut. So a lot of gut concerns are because of stress. Now, we all have stress. It's how we handle it that makes the difference. And one way you can handle it better is through distress remedy. Take a couple of drops of it, put a dropper full under your tongue. Whenever you're feeling worrisome or you are concerned about something, help your body relax. Put a timer on your phone, and every hour, get up, take some deep breaths, do some stretching, move your body, get the congestion out, drink some good water. So last week I spoke of fermented foods. I talked about kombucha. You need to get going with that. Maybe some sauerkraut, kimchi. That also helps the gut and heals it. So there's a lot of things you can be doing, and just pick some. get started. So next week I want to discuss the H. pylori bacteria and how that affects our gut health. And I'll be talking about some herbs and how we can cleanse the body and get rid of some of these things, these offending microbes that can be disruptive to our health. Today, I just want to delve into a little bit about herbs with this intestinal soothe and build. It's one of my favorite remedies for gut health. It really helps to soothe. It's got slippery elm in it, which is totally nourishing. It has chamomile, plantain, rose hips, marshmallow, and all of these are extremely helpful. So what you can do is you can open up a capsule, mix it with a little applesauce, and soothe the esophagus. If you're not having trouble with the esophagus, then just swallow the capsules and start healing the gut. Many people have helped to heal their gut with the intestinal soothe and build. So make sure that you're doing something, and I would please do quality. Don't just go and get something off the shelf. There are so many poorly put together recipes out there. You want something that's quality, and what I have recommend is something I've been using for 40 years, and I feel that it is the best quality around, Nature's Sunshine. So I also feel that people should have things on hand. Now, if you've got a headache and you go to your medicine chest and there's nothing there to help with your headache, then that doesn't make any sense. Stock your medicine chest with healthy herbs. They can be beneficial as well as help to control symptoms. So things that I keep on hand: elderberry D3 fence. It's got D3 in it, and it's got elderberry, and there's been a lot of information on the internet about elderberry. I'm wearing elderberry color today. So make sure that you're having things on hand and know what they are there for. So elderberry is great for getting rid of viruses. When you want to knock out a cold, take 2 every half hour. It is a food. It's not going to hurt you. The other thing I have on hand is distress remedy. You never know when you're going to run into some kind of stressful situation. So make sure that you're doing things to help support your body. I feel that people should have distress remedy at work, at home. You should have it when you go on vacation, in your glove box. Well, in hot weather it's not so good, but are extremely cold. But to put it in your purse or your briefcase, your man bag. Anyways, distress remedy will help keep your body calm. Another thing I think you should have on hand is lavender oil. I have gotten myself out of many burn situations by using lavender oil, and it has healed the skin, no blisters, not even any redness. So these are things you should have on hand. Intestinal soothe and build is one of those things, because one of the things that if you are sick and you throw up, you want to be able to soothe that esophagus, get rid of those acids. You know, when you're throwing up bile, it's an acid and it can burn. And so you want to make sure that you're calming that burning sensation. So you mix a little bit of the soothe and build and swallow it, and it'll settle the stomach down. You can put a little ginger with it, and you'll feel like $1,000,000 in no time. So don't forget to mark your calendar and listen to next week, Dr. Mary's Health to Home at 10:30 when we're talking about H. pylori. That's March 19th. Also, on Saturday, this coming Saturday, I'm giving a live class where I'll record it and have that available on my website for you to listen to probably by Wednesday. But I'll be talking about gut health and its entirety. And I hope you can take some time and listen to that. You can download it from Dropbox and listen to it in your car on a thumb drive. So make sure that you're listening to that. I have a lot of classes on my website. So I really enjoy talking about health and natural remedies, and I hope that you share this with those people. Spread some hope, and if you have specific things and you want to talk with me about it, send me an email, drmary@bornforhealth.com, and I will be happy to connect with you. I'll also send you that 20-some page PDF if you're interested, Dr. David Perlmutter on zonulin and his studies. So, number 1, stop putting in the irritant. Number 2, repair the gut with soothing herbs and special spore probiotics. Number 3, deter stress whenever you can. Learn some relaxation techniques. Put a timer on your phone so that you can get up and walk around. So I hope you've enjoyed this discussion on leaky gut. I hope you understand the importance of good gut health, and that you tune in next week when we talk about the H. pylori and hiatal hernia, and keep focusing on those good healthy choices. Thank you for viewing, and please share this with other people, and let's keep focusing on health instead of disease. This is Dr. Mary, Health to Home. Thank you for viewing, for the health of it.